Okay. Trying to set up my little dashboard here. Okay. Well, in the interim, I was really impressed by how well this game functions with the controller. It's a little janky as far as switching back and forth between controller and keyboard. Sometimes it crashes out the game. You have to restart the game entirely. But the controller interface for this is nice. Just trigger for these menus. I'm a save scummer, no doubt. I justify that. Simply by saying that the tabletop in the tabletop experience, basically this game has you always rolling as if you're under duress. And okay, yeah, I can be heard. And you can't take the time to be more careful, take 20 things like that in this game. Also, in the tabletop, if you can't open a chest or something like that through picking a lock, you have other options. In this, it's like, oh, you couldn't pick that lock? Well, I guess when you go level, you can come try again. And that's a little ridiculous to me.
Applause, please.
We don't need to camp yet. I know what happens when we do. So maybe I'll come deal with that once we get Harem. I have only played this game up through starting the kingdom. Now I'm gonna have her delay until yeah. So you let them approach me. She'll shoot somebody who's not engaged because she has a penalty. Anyway, I got it up to the kingdom management portion, and honestly, that kind of kicked me out of the game. Like I constantly felt like I couldn't do the right thing, um, and that sucks. That's what brings me out of the XCOM games. Even though otherwise, I really love those games.
Wretched things. Let us strike as one.
There we go.
They go down.
So you guys got a lot of friends. So anyway, that kind of messed with me, and then I do have issues where it's like I'll recreate characters just to try different mechanics.
Any last wishes?
Wow. So I have most of the difficulty points on this set to normal. Normal enemy strength, 100% damage from enemies, critical hits normal, stuff like that. The mostly normal game experience. What I do have changed is I don't want any of my people auto leveling. I want to control that, and I have it to where the encumbrance doesn't slow us down, because really that's just, I do play with encumbrance in tabletop, but usually you have a backpack or something you can set down when it's inconvenient, or drag it along with you, and then you've got a cart or horse or something that you've got parked somewhere. This game doesn't, it's like if you aren't carrying it on your back, you lose it. But yeah, what drew me out of this game initially was
Despicable.
the restriction on some of the options. It's like you just had no choice. It was really lame. You get these advisors that you can't build them. You can't like really make them suited for the role specifically. And it's raw attribute checks too. So, like Tristan, he's usually my religious advisor because I prefer his attitude. I know that in order to, and they should tell you this, but they don't, but in order to make him a better advisor in that role, I'm going to want to specifically increase his wisdom stat, and then like dump a bunch of items on to increase his wisdom stat. Even though that's not the most useful thing for me and him running with my party. So I'm going to have to make sure I'm funneling him experience points and building him a certain way, but keeping him as an advisor, because that's not what I want. This time through, I built all of my people. Jathel, Amiri, me, and Valerie, I retrained everybody and gave them all of the teamwork feats coming up. And so far it's working out really, really, really well. Our AC is much higher when we're working together. Our accuracy is much higher. We do added damage. We get more attacks. It really turns us into a monster of a team.
Do not falter.
The only thing you give up with that is usually it's not very valuable to have one of your dudes who goes so much faster than the enemy, because there's not really a point to it. You're going to want to always be adjacent to one of your allies, so whoever approaches one of your allies is always being flanked by another ally. So I'll end up delaying to make sure everyone is together. I'll usually let enemies approach me first, stuff like that. Except in the case of Lindsay. I specifically have Lindsay being my kind of skill monkey. Um, I'm pouring everything into just getting all of her skills really, really, really high, so that she handles all of the knowledges, all of the everything. Um, so that for the most part, I've got 4 positions in my party. I don't have to worry about who's in them for the purposes of whether or not we're meeting certain skill checks and stuff. That was another disappointment I had found with this game. Awesome. I'm gonna get closer here. Yeah. Yeah, can I get right in there? There. I wanted to get in there, but not provoke an attack of opportunity. Nicely done. She'll approach, that way everyone is flanking this guy. Lindsay has a... Yeah, Lindsay suffers an accuracy when she's firing into a melee because I didn't give her... She needs 2 feats in order to stop doing that, and I'm not interested in that so far. She's a great little support archer for like plucking off remote enemies when things start, but otherwise I kind of have her here really just as a stat stick. And her personality's pleasant. She is one of my favorite people to have in a party.
Unworthy. Onward.
My people have a bit of lacking accuracy because I have everyone defensive fighting. All the time. I mean, except for Lindsay, but...
How curious.
I gave my character no voice because they speak every time you move them, and normally that would be every time you click, which wouldn't be so bad, but with the controller it's basically considering you clicking a lot. And so you're just constantly going through the few lines that they've programmed in. Alright, so all of my people go before the creature. So in this case... Alright, can't even charge.
Wretched things.
We'll approach... You know what? No, I already had her do that. Actually, I'll just have her move back then. So they're too far away from me. There's a complication with charging, so I'm not going to charge it. I'm just going to... Oh look, someone else joined in. Now her, I'll shoot.
Serves you right.
There we go. Okay, I keep wondering why their AC is so low, because the enemies are on normal strength. You can see it. Difficulty. Critical hits normal. Death store on. Dead companions raise off. I did remove negative effects on rest. Auto level up off. Normal enemies. Damage to party. Enemy difficulty. I was also a little bit disappointed for the purposes of like achievements and stuff like that. Normal is not Pathfinder normal. It's not the tabletop normal. Normal stuff's wonky. Enemies are weaker, stuff like that. It's weird. Those things can move far, but that's okay because they came up to us, which meant we were all benefiting from teamwork. Always attack the wounded one.
Despicable.
There we go. that guy come? Whoa. Okay.
Stay behind me.
That was a little weird. Alright, we're gonna 5-foot step. Back away from that creature.
You
Shoot him.
deserved it.
Well, shoot at him. His AC's much higher now. And it's a little deceptive the way they display the numbers in this game. It's like 1 of 9. It's like showing his it's almost like his AC is 9. That's not the case, and that still throws me off. Because normally you just have the die roll. I almost think it would have been cooler if it showed you just the full. You rolled this plus this modifier versus, their AC or their save or whatever. They don't do that. It's like this is raw what your die rolled versus raw what the die had to roll considering your modifiers. It doesn't list anything like that. And I suppose that's not too bad. It does really, really simplify the numbers. It's just taking some getting used to, I guess. So it's like she rolled a cumulative 1, which I guess was 1, which would, well, there's no critical failures anyway, ever, normally. That's a house rule. But she would have had to roll at least a 9 on the die. Nicely done, Jathel. Cool. And see the guys who are adjacent, they have all these bonuses. Oh, there's still people. Still enemies, okay. I would charge, but they haven't been very honest about how many enemies are in this combat. So I'll wait. I'll let them come to me. Or kill them with Lindsay. That works too. See what I mean? I don't know what that's about either, because at least Jathel, Lindsay I have set up for perception, but Jathel, she's like naturally exceedingly perceptive. She's an elf, she has a high wisdom, I stat and a perception, just because I basically follow where they were putting skill points for her anyway. But she should see anything that's sneaking up on us. So I don't know what's up with this exactly. Alright, fight's over. It took 6 rounds. But it cost my people nothing. No resources spent. I'm big on that. I stay away from casters for the most part because I don't like...
I see something.
I'm not a big fan of resource management.
It's just not my lucky day.
Let's see. I like all of my money to be available for awesome new static upgrades, like a belt of this, or a diadem of that, or a bag of holding, or something like that. I don't want to blow my money on scrolls and potions.
It's just not my lucky day.
Man, I wonder how high that is, because it's kind of ridiculous. My people are a little over-leveled right now, actually. I ran off. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I have the Heart of Ira. I ran off into that little DLC area.
It's just not my lucky day.
And I basically leveled my my people up to level 5 before even kind of starting the game, really. Of course, that means Tartuccio like talks smack on you whenever you get to the temple. He's like, "Oh, you're so slow," blah blah blah. Whatever.
Anything else?
There we go. And like I said, it doesn't feel good to save scum, but
Applause, please.
thank you, Lindsay.
What's that?
Some of you may notice I'm playing an ASMR. They are busted. They're just straight up busted. They always have been. And it blows my mind how okay with that people are.
Applause, please.
Um, they stay busted in this game. They're even busted, like, we've played other versions. We, on tabletop, we play Starfinder as well. And when we convert over the ASMR, we don't do anything to their stats. It's insane. Like, they're so powerful. They're almost monstrous characters. I would say dwarves are pretty powerful too, but it's very circumstantial
Anything else?
abilities that they get. Um, and at the minute someone starts ignoring things like encumbrance and stuff like that, that their power is
Getting an epic pose? I need inspiration.
um, a lot of their extra power is gone. But anyway, yeah, the ASMR are busted, and no one ever does anything to balance that out. Yeah. I would have even been okay with, like, I mean, the Tiefling are the obvious counter to the ASMR, since they've come to be, but the Tiefling aren't busted like the ASMR.
That was...
There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna have Amiri and Jathel come up here
Unworthy.
to sort of protect Lindsay. I'm gonna bring myself up this way. Yeah, that's gonna force me to move out of that threatened area and provoke an attack of opportunity. So I'll hit him. There we go. See, 16 versus 20, so he rolled a 16 on his die, but literally my people's AC is so high that they have to roll a 20 on the die in order to hit. Especially in Valerie's case, because she is built to be a tank. I just wish I could have had more control building these guys from level 1.
Let us strike as one.
Alright, and I just want to be sure, so I'm going to 5-foot step back. There we go.
Serves you right.
I should have shot at the other guy.
They go down. Wretched things.
There we go. And I moved Amiri around because sometimes, because of how the game is about us moving through our occupied spaces, it forces my party members to like run out and around other party members, and sometimes that provokes attacks of opportunity, or it robs them of their attack in the turn in general, because they have to move too far. So I try to get party members out of the way with what movement they've got left. after attacking. I absolutely love the concept of playing the Kingmaker campaign on tabletop. But none of the people who play with me are that into kingdom management. That is what it is. I get it. I tend to be kind of a bigger picture player. And I don't mean that in any way other than just kind of a statement of fact. Most people don't find that very fun. That's okay. I'm playing this instead of some of the other games that I was talking about because I've just been obsessed with this recently. Wrath of the Righteous came out. I've been plucking around with that, but I almost... Not that Wrath of the Righteous is necessarily like a true sequel or anything to this. Just like Final Fantasy VIII is not a sequel to Final Fantasy VII. I just felt like I wanted to do this first. Why am I missing how to... Okay. All these high kobolds. Actually, everything's gone well. Just go ahead and fully save the game. Oh, do I need to click on the radishes? Okay. About that radish. I'll try. I guess I gravitate towards good, being like, look, I don't need all of it. I'll leave half of what I dig out for you. And they're like, oh, that's a great deal. I kind of want the extra experience points, but it's also probably not going to be that many experience points. So, never mind. They're like, we're too high to fight war. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Now this.
Can you make an epic pose?
Oh, okay. Enemy up here. But over to the right, there is a sad story. And this game is full of them. It's kind of ridiculous. Pathfinder, like D&D, is a fantasy setting where miraculous solutions to a vast many problems are mundane in this setting. It is a very, very magical world where really everyone could be living a blessed life. You have an abundance of approaches to automated servants to do menial tasks that people wouldn't like. You have various different ways to make infinite resources. I just can't stress enough how little people should want in this setting. This isn't one of those ones with like some kind of wild tyrant or something like that. Wherever you do run into some kind of unfortunate tyrant, you can leave. Go to some better land, because there's a bunch of them.
What a surprise.
Yeah, this thing is sad. Lonely, shambling mound. Um, so this woman found a wounded elf in the woods, and rather than help her out, which could easily have been done, she brings her back, pours some concoction on her to start growing some sort of weird experimental mold on her. And the mold eventually takes over, and this is that elf. It's messed up. It is messed up, and that's not the saddest story I've seen in here. One got me the other night, where there's like this hunter in this village, and there's this, the tale is like, you know, he loves his woman and they have kids, and he tells all these stories and sets up these elaborate things, kind of like in the same way parents set up the idea about Santa Claus. They do these little tricks and stuff like that to really bring to life the magic, right? Well, in one of his stories, there was this silver dragon, and he's got scales and this and that and the other thing. At some point, the kids must have like snuck out at night to go find this silver dragon or something like that. And these poor hunters, this poor couple, they find their kids dead. They've been killed by a wyvern or something like that. Nah. I just don't deal with that too well. And the in the tabletop, I would be able to rage and say, no, I will resurrect my children, and I can go out and get that done in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's something relatively nice, I do something cool, and a good god benefits me once, or if it goes all God of War, and I have to like break heaven in order to get my kids back. Whatever. There's usually a way. It's a pretty compelling story, but geez. I think the dude just ends up throwing himself from a cliff. Alright, pause. Show cursor.
Onward
Attack. Unpause.
to victory.
Basically, there's this concern that eventually this thing will attack people.
Stay behind me.
Well, we have to roll. We have a significantly less than 50% chance to even hit this thing. And that's with, like... okay, she's pretty good at it. Augmented rolls from being... from flanking this thing.
Last wishes.
Oh, I am very good at hitting this thing. I only have to roll a 7. It only has to roll a 14 to hit my people. And it poisons them.
Let us strike as one. Advance.
She has to roll an 18. So she only has a 15% chance of hitting this guy.
Bring it.
She's got a 25% chance of hitting.
This is where I step in.
She is a 15. Oh, that helped us out. So teamwork feat, there's this the engraved silver pendant. I wonder, like, I usually hold on to that thing just in case I run into someone of that poor elf's family. Anyway. Oh yeah. So if one of my party members who are adjacent and flanking um, critical hits an enemy, each of my other party members gets to take and make an attack of opportunity against that enemy. So it can be pretty awesome. Creamsicle, you old man. Really? Hold on a second. Cat's throwing up, so I just moved into the kitchen. It's easier to clean up. But yeah, this is a cool feature. It's just like, hey, you're leaving. There's all this loot you left on the ground. Do you want to pick it up? Yes, please. Maybe he's just trying to clear his throat. I don't know. I'm just playing it safe. Lighting is an issue because I'm an ASMR.
You cannot stand against me.
Alright, Valerie. Yeah, what just happened here? Delaying a character's turn to the next round. Well, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to delay her turn to the next round either. That was weird how that worked out. Alright. Y'all do what you're gonna... I'm a little confused about what these guys are doing. Nope. Lindsay, go ahead and shoot these guys.
Serves you right.
Yeah, she's got... Okay, I guess that one's still considered flat-footed. I'm gonna go ahead... Are you good? I see that you made it out of the kitchen. That doesn't sound good.
Do not falter.
Good job. Okay.
Onward.
I'm gonna move up to the giant centipede here and park, and then Amiri will come up, thus flanking him. Yeah, I was saying about casters and resource management. Casters, it's like once they run out of their spells, they're not really useful. And so you end up having to rest more often. I'm not a big fan of that. So then you got to deal with the camping mechanics and the resources, camping costs, and the time, which is a factor in this game. By all means, Lindsay.
You deserved it.
Nicely done.
Running won't help you.
Cool. What the heck beat Amiri up so much? She's like half down.
They go down. Onwards.
Any last wishes?
Nice. So we're not out of combat yet. There we go. Attack for opportunity, I like that.
Wretched things. Despicable.
I debate the difficulty to play this game at. The teamwork feats are making normal difficulty feel pretty good, and it's okay. But
Down. Better one.
lowering the difficulty makes it so that you don't have to build so specifically, and you can do something that just thematically feels more fun to you. I made a bard archaeologist. That's actually my furthest running character. I made a bard archaeologist that just dunks on all the skills. He just has all the skills, and they're all really, really high, and I like that. Not to mention he's not bad at what he does. I gave him a shield. He's so I didn't even make it so that he could cast spells. He's intelligence and constitution, I think. Or dexterity. Maybe he was dex intelligence or something. I threw constitution in there somewhere, but his whole thing is like he's a finesse fighter with a shield, and he melee fights, and knows a bunch of stuff. It's a generally satisfying character to play. But like I said, I got into the kingdom management and was just straight up turned off to the game. That thing crit. That thing rolled a 20 and was able to hit her.
Advance.
Nice. And now I'm going to move her out of the way. If I can. It's so sticky. I'm not even going to move her.
Bring it.
Alright, and he could do stuff, but he won't. So, I'm going to wait to go after the centipede. For good reason. I'm not out of combat. Okay, cat's all comfy and stuff now, so that's cool. But I can't see any enemies, so I'm gonna chill. I assume they're going to approach, yep.
Unworthy. Tear them apart.
Something I have been messing with is, I did recently have a barbarian character.
We will prevail.
I like characters who are tough and fast. Um,
Wretched things.
and there's a few different ways to approach that in... Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. I just ran up to him for no reason. Alright, so...
This is where I step in.
My bad. Cool. My AC alone is high enough that I'm relatively safe.
They go down.
And now she's there to flank, so... Good, good.
Stay behind me.
Okay, I'll just leave you there.
Despicable.
Serves you right.
Anyway, what I was saying is...
Let us strike at once.
There's a kind of trap that a lot of players fall into as far as wanting the highest modifiers on things. It even gets to a point where it's like players are disappointed if they've got less than an 18 in a stat. I can kind of get that for the purposes of sometimes spellcasters, they're casting spells that enemies get to roll against to try to resist. And it can be really, really disappointing as a spellcaster to use one of your limited spells per day only to have it be completely ineffective against an enemy. But I also don't play spellcasters, probably partially for that reason. Another reason is that in the tabletop, once you get into your full spellcasters, your dudes who get up to like 9th level spells, honestly, it just gets to the point where you're headbutting the you're butting heads with the storyteller too often, because your spells can like rewrite, or how do I say, just invalidate a lot of story. Alright, we're gonna kind of divide here, I think. Send Valerie in here to help her out.
Do not falter. Onward.
Cool. Should we these?
You deserved it.
When I can start casting spells that tell me who the bad guy is, where the bad guy is, what the truth of a situation is, or like completely undo something, like with the wish spell or something like that, it gets like, the more clever you are as a player, the more hated you are as a high-level caster by storytellers, and that's fine. That's fine. So I just back off of that crap. But I also think of things in terms of this. What I was talking about was I like my characters tough and fast, right? Dexterity doesn't have anything to do with speed. It does affect initiative, so it can have to do with acting first.
Bring it.
But as far as your land speed, nothing really affects that except your species and your feats that you put into that. Or class features, which is what I'm going to get down to. Then as far as being tough, that's a matter of hit points. Whether or not you have something that restores your hit points, like regeneration, which is something I'm a big fan of.
Stay behind me.
Or you have a nice big pool of hit points. And of course, Constitution,
Last wishes.
increases the amount of hit points you get per level. no matter what class you're playing. Thing is,
How curious.
Constitution doesn't do much else. It's good for concentration if you're a caster. Or at least it used to be. I think now it's just the casting stat is the concentration stat. They consolidated that to make it a little less lame for casters, but it does affect your fortitude save, but then that's about it. It just gives you hit points. All the other stats have multiple things that they affect. So investing in Constitution doesn't feel very rewarding. So if you think about hit points in terms of not how many hit points can I get, but who was considered a generally tough character or a generally tough class. Barbarians have the highest hit die, which means at base they get the most hit points per level. I like playing a barbarian because I don't have to invest in Constitution to still feel tough, to still feel like I'm getting a decent amount of hit points. And then on top of that, they're a generally cool fighter, a generally capable fighter. And their rage things, even though I don't much care for the rage mechanic itself, they have like stances, like Amiri. I have her in a stance where she's just more accurate, more capable of getting critical hits and stuff like that all the time without expending any of her rage. And there are rage powers you can take that just straight up make you faster by 10 feet per, as long as you're not wearing heavy armor. I'm okay with that. I build for dexterity. And so now I'm tough and I'm fast, and if I really have to, I can like have a dramatic mechanic of raging out to try to like squeeze a little bit out of like put a little bit more into what I'm doing. They also have like triple the skill points of a fighter. They get damage reduction, various and sundry other things. Barbarians are pretty cool. I'm starting to talk myself out of playing a fighter now. This guy, I started him as a paladin. What I don't like about paladins in this video game is that paladins have to choose a god. They can't be atheistic. Since 3.5, they gave paladins the option to not follow a god. They have their edict. The power can come from within them. I appreciate that. Mainly because the gods suck. Every last one of them, for various reasons, they are all either straight up evil or failing horribly at being good. I don't like them. I don't have faith in them. I don't want them to be in power. Blah, blah, blah. I've got a whole thing about that. But worshipping them pulls me away from being a paladin. And even in the mechanics in the Pathfinder game, you don't have to follow a god to be a paladin, but you still get storytellers who were brought up under like 2nd edition players who just can't fucking adapt, who insist that you follow a god. I'm like, cool, not gonna play a paladin then. Fuck them. And I'm like, let the kill wall go. That's messed up. Don't use them for target practice. Oh, yeah. I forgot to talk to a dude. Up here. I went with fighter because generally I enjoy fighter. They are a very straightforward class. Where's the guardsman? Yeah, gatekeeper, Quaggy. it is. He wants like spider mandibles. This is probably nothing, but I gotta check it out anyway. Fighter's pretty straightforward. They get to wear heavier armor and continue to move at their speed. While that's not considered fast per se, I guess it could be like a midland thing. They get a lot of feats, which means a lot of customization, which is something I really like. A decent amount of I don't know if I would call that versatility per se, because they usually can't really change it up once they've committed, but I think I can go down that way, and I think I will.
And then our leader charged forwards. Hey, wait for me!
Okay. So that's not it, and we don't know who. There they are. Ah, okay. So it's a party.
Tear them apart! Unworthy.
Nicely done.
Let us strike as one.
Yeah, this is working out really well. I'm really impressed with the teamwork feats. Combat's not over, so there we go. Now it's over. I do enjoy playing a barbarian. I'm really sitting with that now. They made half-orcs pretty desirable to play in this too. First off, I like their bodies. They're a little bit cartoony in this way, but I like it. I like it when they depict characters with like hands kind of bigger than their heads. And the half-orc is like that. He's like a really like stocky dude. At least I can retrain. I can retrain at least back to my race, so I don't have to start the game over. I'm probably gonna go half orc barbarian. Yep, because they gave them skilled in this game, which is so much more valuable now. I am a skill points guy. I am very much. I believe that you can do the most good by having the most knowledge, the most awareness of what is right. And I also believe that those with the most knowledge of their environments, those who can make the most conscious decisions, are actually the most free-willed. You can decide whatever you want, but if you don't really know what you're doing, then you're just reactionary. You're, in my opinion, like, not free-willed at all. You could be going with your heart, but your heart's still being influenced by your environment. I do not want to attack the other guy. So. and I can't open that because I need the relic from the kobold. I needed her relic, I need the kobold leader's relic, then I can open that and go talk to Tartuccio. Anyway, so I like my characters to be knowledgeable. Outside of that, I like them to be charismatic and able to climb things and stuff like that. So skill points cover all of that. So the low skill points of the fighter are one of the things that have usually taken me away from that.
Scared? You should be.
Sorry, I feel like I got tangential. The point that I was making about the stats and modifiers and stuff like that is, if you set your expectations, if you're okay with a barbarian's hit points, then you don't need to be a barbarian plus a high constitution modifier. You don't need that. Not to mention the high constitution modifier gives you more turns of rage, which is something I don't rely on as a barbarian anyway. I like more of the passive effects.
This is where I sit.
Just like if you have an idea of what you want your character to be capable of in general, you may not need to have the highest strength modifier, the highest dexterity modifier, so on and so forth.
Wretched.
Character creation, that's another one too. You can build to have a race that gets +2 to a stat, and then invest a whole bunch in that stat so that you start with a 20 in that stat, which gives you the +5 modifier. But it takes so much out of everything else to be able to do that, that it is, I mean, whether you're rolling or not, maybe you're a super lucky roller, and in that case, good for you. I'm usually not. I have other people roll my stats for me if it comes down to rolling.
Serves you right.
But like in this game, we'll stick it to this game. You get 25 points, which is actually a lot. You get 25 points with which to he wasn't adjacent, so that dude only had to roll against a 16. All right.
Despicable.
I should have moved someone up to him. Oh, I'm also flat-footed yet, because I don't know,
Onwards.
botched my initiative roll, I guess. There, now I'm awake.
You deserve it.
Okay. So, if I'm going for a particularly themed character, like most of my dudes in this, I want them to be strong, or strong and fast, or strong and dexterous, because that affects your AC as well. Well, and your speed. So let me get back to that. If you're in heavier armors, it slows you down. Being in there, you don't get faster for wearing no armor, which kind of sucks, but you have a base speed, usually of 30. In light armor, that's not affected, but in medium armor, that's affected, and in heavy armor, that is drastically affected. If you have to rely on those armors, it slows you down. But if you have a higher dexterity, then you have can be your source of armor class.
You're but a footnote in our story.
And in that event, you can stick with light armor and be as fast as you can be. Um, so I like to have my dexterity high.
Bring it. Stay behind me. Advance.
5 foot movement removes you from the threat of an attack of opportunity.
Any last wishes?
There we go. Between the flanking and the attack bonus, these guys have high enough to
Tear them apart.
they don't just have to roll a 20.
Let us strike as one.
I'm trying to get rid of the poisonous ones first.
This is where I step in.
So I like to have a high dexterity, and unless I'm trying to invest in weapon finesse and things,
They go down.
which can be pretty legit. It means I can just focus on my dexterity, and then maybe another beneficial stat like intelligence or something.
Do not falter. Wretched things. This body holds no more.
Oh man, she's getting beat up.
Serves you right.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm very, very lucky. It just took like 3 attacks of opportunity against me because my dude had to move the whole way out around to get to that. I wish they had stuck to the grid in this game. I don't get why they. Without fail, every computer or console adaptation of a Dungeons and Dragons game moves away from the grid mechanic. I think they should function like XCOM games. I don't know why someone. I get that that's not everyone's thing, but I'm surprised no one has turned out a D&D game that functions like an XCOM game. It's so weird. Sure, most of them still are turn-based, at least when it comes down to the combat, but movement doesn't work the same. It all gets weird. Flanking gets bogus. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is.
This can't be over.
That's my first character drop, and it's my undead character too.
Onward.
I'm not sure if I have anything that can pick her back up right
You
now.
deserved it.
Bring it.
We're rolling for crap.
Stay behind me.
Any last wishes?
Nice. Critical hit.
Tear them apart.
Finally. Welcome back, Jathel. And she didn't die, so. We're generally alright. Now, does Lindsay have.
What troubles you?
No,
I
oh,
can
but
do what's called for.
Jaethel does.
Speak.
Inflict light wounds.
Tashani Savi.
There you go.
Tashani Savitu. Tashani Savi. Tashani Savitu. Tashani Savi.
There we go. Only took all of your castings of it. Alright.
Submit.
See, okay, yeah, that's another thing I was getting at. I did have a barbarian already, half-orc barbarian, and he was so fast that he was constantly out ahead of his party and alone when combat started. Alright, I'm gonna hit you. Or try to. Now Jaethel can step up,
Despicable.
and now we're in business.
Let us strike as one.
Nice.
They go down.
This is where I step in.
Very cool.
Advance.
Oh, I put Valerie up there, but whatever.
Do not falter.
Serves you right.
What for Gorum?
Oh, there's someone else yet. Okay, well, Lindsay, you're gonna move, like, over here. You and your tiny self, I want you out of the way.
Bring it.
Tremendous centipede.
Onward.
Spitting giant centipede, so let's go ahead and nip that in the bud. Valerie, I don't want you to approach anything.
You deserve it.
Nice. Okay. I try to attack the weak first to eliminate the sources of damage, and also like helps my people effectively win the war of action economy. Can't get at that guy, so we're here.
Wretched
Let's do
things.
this. Nice. I've got attribute damage now.
Despicable.
And some kind of poison, it looks like.
Stay behind me.
This is where I step in.
Advance. Let us strike as one.
Serves you right.
Oh, looks like someone used a ranged attack and did not have, well, he provoked an attack of opportunity from everybody. So that's why there was the sudden explosion. Alright, so my people are in worsening shape. 2 of us have damaged attributes. I have an innate ability. I don't know if it's up yet, though. Yep, I can do it. ASMR. I just innately can cast Lesser Restoration once per day. Okay, what happened? Still ability damaged with dexterity. That's interesting. Lesser Restoration should have worked.
Running won't help you.
Wait a sec. Oh, I didn't realize what I was looking at here.
Unworthy.
Nice.
Wretched
Walk on up.
things.
Sweet. That 20. 20 is an automatic hit. When you roll a 20 on the die, it's an automatic hit.
Bring it.
And then you roll again to try to confirm what is called a critical hit. So if you roll and with all of your modifiers, you would have broken their AC, you would have exceeded their armor class after you roll your critical threat, then it's a critical hit and you do like bunches of damage. My goal is to get my party's AC so high that while I can't avoid the automatic hit, they will not be able to confirm a critical. So they'll do, an attack occasionally.
Despicable.
Alright. Okay.
You cannot stand
Hey.
against me. Tear them apart.
Dang. At least I'm making my poison saves.
Advance.
Oh, yeah. These guys are rolling an unfortunate amount of 20s on my face. I'm probably going to have to rest pretty soon. Let's see, who's got what as far as...
Adventures calls them.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. Amiri.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
I'd say it's all gone pretty well so far.
We've downed better ones.
Damage reduction. Some creatures are resistant to damage. Like if you try to stab a skeleton with a knife. I love the undead, man. Ooh, that guy got all up ins. Alright, so first we're gonna destroy the guy who's straight up in our ranks amongst us. Dread skeleton soldier.
Do not falter. They go down.
Okay.
You deserved it.
Unworthy.
Alright. Who are we gonna start with here?
Onward.
You attack the one that's close to you. I'll see how she's gonna move so far.
Any last wishes?
Wretched things.
Nice. As long as they don't have to move.
Stay behind me. Bring it.
This is where I step in.
Nicely done.
Despicable. Let us strike as one.
Dread skeleton soldier's pretty awesome. I I should not continue to work on him.
Advance.
There we go. That's one more down.
Do not falter.
Awesome.
They go down.
We'll go back to work on this Dread Skeleton Sculpture.
Deserved it.
Unworthy.
Yeah, his AC's pretty high. There we go. Doesn't have enough hit points though.
Onward.
Any last wishes?
Wretched things. Stay behind me. Bring it.
This is where I step in.
Despicable. Let us strike as one.
Okay. Bunch of stuff.
What a surprise.
Anything else?
Nice.
How curious. What's that?
I'm gonna check this passageway up here. And it looks like I've got some gear to distribute to these guys. But yeah, that was another thing I was talking about. The skill points in this game. They consolidated some of the skills, pretty drastically lowering the amount of skills there are in the game, and that's cool. It's actually something I think should be carried over to the normal game, and it's something that I think I would implement if I ran a game. However, they so lowered how many skill points we get that you still have to really invest. It like basically it eliminated some of the class features as far as like how many skill points people get, because they did a lot of rounding down. So like Barbarian in this game doesn't get as many skill points. What used to be 3 times as much, I think is like just 50% more now, which kind of sucks. And I think there's something wonky about how skilled works, about like whether or not you do get a bonus skill point per level. I didn't care for that.
You should be.
I would probably like half, rounding down, how many skill points each class gets, sure. But then I definitely wouldn't have done what they did to intelligence. Normally, you get an extra intelligence point per level, per modifier of intelligence you have, just like Constitution works with hit points. But they didn't do that with this, so it makes every other +2 of intelligence a really unrewarding investment. It really sucks.
Serves you right.
Nice. Move here.
Do not falter.
No, she can't get up there, so we are going to delay. Well, delay. Delay. There we go. Oh, it's one of the spitting ones. In that case, charge. Nice. Also charge. Aw.
You deserve it.
There we go. There's a lot of centipedes down here. Lindsay, you will shoot.
Any last wishes?
Nice.
Advance.
Done?
Onward. Tear them apart.
Oh, okay. This is the place I was looking for. This is where we separate. I'm gonna stand on this place.
I'm listening.
Valerie, you stand on that.
Just
Lindsay.
and so they walked on.
Well done. Link us back up. Run. Alright, cool, cool. Cool. They let me approach that the way I wanted to.
Can you make an epic pose? I need inspiration.
Alright, we're going to delay till after the first dread skeleton, I think. Lindsay's just gonna shoot. Dread skeleton. So she's gonna shoot a dread skeleton. Nice. High AC on that dread skeleton.
Unworthy.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he has a tower shield, so I guess that's understandable. God, they're so cool. I think the dread skeletons even look cool.
Stay behind me.
That's better. Dawns on me, I'm not sure Jathel has a full base attack bonus. I don't remember as far as the Inquisitors go. Definitely would not have stuck her that class. It kind of works out that they get free teamwork feats, but hello. Nightmare Skeleton Soldier. Okay, I guess I'm working on you.
They go down.
He did 0 damage because of his reduction. That is impressive. Let's try to work on
Serves you right.
damaged one.
Wretched things. Let us strike as one.
There we go. I crit, but I don't. Not everyone has the feat that lets the rest of the party chime in whenever you critically hit something. All right, so I can move down here with her. I'm not going to though. I'm gonna move her up here. Actually, can I move right here? Yes. I'm assuming Nightmare Skeleton is worse than Dread Skeleton. And Dread Skeleton is flanked, I think. That's what that little symbol means, so that's cool.
You deserved it.
I'm just waiting for the Nightmare Skeleton to turn around and, like, bitch slap Lindsay.
Despicable. Do not falter.
Oof. I did not notice that was going to force me to do that.
Bring it.
Any last wishes?
Advance. Onward.
Man.
Tear them apart.
This is where I step in.
Unworthy. Stay behind me.
Okay.
They go down.
I put a shield on everyone because I find armor class to be pretty important.
Wretched things. Let us strike as one.
Alright, cool. Now we can dogpile on the Nightmare Skeleton Soldier.
You deserved it.
Despicable. Do not falter.
He is now successfully flanked. Ooh, see that? A critical hit happened, and then 2 more people swung in. Awesome. Dang, he just hit me for 20 damage. Ouch.
Any last wishes?
Advance. Onward.
Wow. Alright, we're picking up some swag, so I definitely want to see my people outfitted. What do we have? It's half plate plus 1. I can't make proper use of that because half plate has a max dexterity bonus of 0. But Valerie. Oh, interesting. She's in full plate, right? I think the half plate plus 1 is just going to get sold. Max dex plus 0 makes it more ideal for somebody who literally did not invest in dexterity at all. And a breastplate because it offers 6 armor class, and my normal dexterity modifier is 4, and I have that fighter thing that brings that up. That brings up the max dex thing. I'm gonna have to play around with the whole barbarian idea. Let me just look at the inventory. Sort by price in descending order. Okay. Agile light pick, cold iron dagger, tongi, a dueling sword. None of my people use that. Kind of a cool concept. The dueling dude, but I think pretty much a solo artist. I'm not too worried about the weapons here. I did end up... Amiri begins with a focus on exotic weapon proficiency bastard sword because her massive weapon is a bastard sword sized for a large creature. Because it's a giant weapon, it gives her a penalty to attack. So you can't take it off of her, so I just put it in her pocket and gave her a bastard sword. Bastard swords, ever since, like, Pathfinder made the bastard sword kind of useless. It was a versatile weapon because it was the only sword you could wield one-handed that could also be wielded two-handed at your option for the strength and a half bonus to damage. Yes, it does a d10 versus the longsword's d8, but that really doesn't matter because of the damage range. That just doesn't matter. But now all weapons can, at your choice, at your option, be wielded two-handed, even a dagger, and you can get the strength and a half damage on it. So I think investing in the bastard sword is something for people who just have a kind of nostalgia for it. I think it would be cool if the bastard sword maybe got some funky feats or whatnot that lets you maybe go to point and like extend your reach occasionally because it is like an awkwardly long weapon. But I don't know. Anyway, so she's got a bastard sword and a shield. And Valerie also invested in the bastard sword, so she's got a bastard sword and a shield. Everyone else had stuck them with long swords or whatever. I took a scimitar, because to me, the difference between a D6 and a D12 is nothing, because your minimum is 1 on either of them, and I just used my strength modifier for the consistent bonus. However, the scimitar has an expanded critical threat range, which means I will, in theory, critically attack more often, multiplying my damage. It's not really a crit fishing build, so Um, I'm not too worried about it. It's just an added maybe. And it's probably what I would have done with the other two as well. I think Lindsay already has a heavy crossbow.
Anything is possible.
Oh yeah, she's got a big old special crossbow that I pulled out of wherever. Her dexterity is presently being lowered. +1 chain shirt. No armor check penalty on that. Something to that. Because I think I'm gonna want the chain shirt if I go barbarian. Man, I really do wish I could retrain everybody. But whatever. But right now, I'm gonna pop her in the chain shirt. The magical chain shirt. Amulet of Mighty Fist. No one's using that right now. Braces of armor. Everyone's wearing armor, so that's not going to matter. Bunch of usables. I usually sell. Okay. Alright. Item crafting would be nice. And there's just a Might Hermit up here. Cool. I'm still like just faster than everybody. The old Sycamore Caves are going to be important in time. That's interesting. When you do the long thing, it's like I'm not the one that's out in front anymore. Not sure what that's about, but I don't care either. There's really no benefit to being out in front. If you're a rogue or somebody who can, one way or the other, make yourself very difficult to notice, sure, it's cool to go gallivant by yourself. And I am thinking one of these playthroughs,
Submit.
I will just do a straight up like Jathel Love playthrough. I'll make a rogue. I'll go get the or maybe my bard that can do all the rest of the skills. I'll go get the Heart of Ira so that we're both immune to fatigue, and then we will just blitz all over this map doing whatever we want. Suck up all the experience points for ourselves and become demigods. Teamworking duo. Actually, if I went rogue and did all the teamwork stuff, that would mean that like I would just be cranking out tons of damage. All right, so no, you're gonna wait. Where's the delay? Delay. Delay / inspect. All right. Well, if I don't want to inspect. Oh, Jesus. I'm a little tired. I didn't sleep too well last night. guess. She's gonna shoot.
This is where I step in.
My two older boys are sick a little bit, and then so they were like up and stuff, and I'm a very, very light sleeper, who also hates sleep and has poor dreams. But then it was like one thing after another. It kept waking me up, and then my youngest like woke me up. He put his hand on my chest and wanted to come up into bed, so I brought him up into bed. I didn't sleep too well, so I think I'm just going a little loopy. And we will wait. Okay, so that's the end of the round. So we're going to just do that. So now we can start doing some stuff. Toast. She would run. Look at that. I think she could reach him from there. Visually, she should be able to reach him from there. But in order to attack him, she would run out and around this guy to do that. And that's a little weird to me.
Tear them apart!
Serves you right.
Stay behind me!
If I made one of these games, it would absolutely be on the grid. And if you needed like a free move mode or something like that, since apparently that is a thing, your character's movement speed would be based on their per turn speed. And then when combat started, it would just shunt you to like the nearest square you're in to start things off. It would do that with everybody. You would go by the squares. Everyone would understand everything. Then you could throw in the cover mechanics, because there's cover mechanics in this game. Someone's close to the corner of a wall, it affects your ranged attacks and all this other crap. Not in this. It's all weird. It seems unnecessary because it like the way the tabletop rules work, they would translate perfectly to any kind of computer game, but people just always skew them.
Wretched things.
Okay.
What a surprise.
Applause, please.
Well done.
What for Gorum?
So these guys don't have a turn, I think is what they're telling me. Okay. I'm gonna wait for them to come to me, so I'm gonna do that, and that, and that. And can she shoot any of these guys right now? Yeah.
You deserved it.
Nice. Okay.
Let us strike as one.
Yeah, just rolling poorly. All I have to roll is a 6 on a 20-sided die, but I'm not.
Any last wishes?
Advance.
And you shall.
Unworthy.
I'm not sure why the spider out there isn't doing anything.
Do not falter.
Round 3.
This is where I step in.
And she just straight up iced that spider herself, so. After the spider. Okay. I say it was already up in my face, so I critically hit it, but because the rest of my people weren't flanking it, they didn't get a shot at it.
Wretched things.
Serves you right.
Okay.
Onward. Bring it.
There.
Despicable.
I definitely prefer the tabletop. I'll be playing that a little later today, Pathfinder specifically. I have a vampire face worn, trying to create my own realm within the first world, which I think this game actually gets into a little bit. First world. In which, and I'm trying to establish myself as an eldest, which is effectively like a demigod, demigod, whatever. But I want my portfolio to be like protecting children. It's like a big thing of mine.
You cannot stand against me.
Cool.
Advance.
One down.
Stay behind me.
You will shoot this one. Oh, no, you had to step up to do that. Alright, so you will not shoot that one. You'll shoot at the wounded one. Your chances are low, but
You deserved it.
nice. There's other spiders out there, I saw that.
Tear them apart. Unworthy.
I tried to create this like kind of cocky ASMR look for myself, but what I think I accomplished was that like famous Nicolas Cage face shot where he's like, that's what that reminds me of.
Let us strike as one.
Any last wishes?
They go down.
Or whoops, he's like, that's it. He's like, It's like what I see when I keep looking at that.
How scared
Ah.
you should be.
Silly me. Okay. So I can't get there and do anything.
Despicable. Do not falter.
Oh, she can't even step to do anything. Alright.
This is where I step in.
I knew there was another spider out there. We are going to flank this one as best we can. You guys, oh yeah, Jathel and I, we're gonna flank this one, the giant spider. You guys work on this one. Okay, good job.
Bring it.
Nice.
Tear them apart.
Serves you right.
Yeah, it's another thing too. If you've got like a fast person running ahead of your like perceptive scout,
Stay behind.
you're just gonna face soak all of those, all the traps all the time. Nice, got the crit. I don't know if they'll get out in a timely fashion. I think that web like stays there too. Okay. I just picked up another Cloak of Resistance +1, so I guess Valerie, she's next. There you go. Are you guys coming?
I am your shield.
Are you just like, what's up with this? Oh goodness.
I'm listening. Remain vigilant.
Okay, we've got some people out now. Oh my. I wonder if there's anything to do to free her.
You deserved it. And Lindsay was called for it. Just letting the ink dry.
No. Huh. Yeah, that's the sucky part about failing that trap anyway. Man, I don't know why she's so stuck. She's like really badly stuck. Hmm. Alright, well, I'm gonna let this I'm gonna figure this out, let this resolve, whatever this is going on. Um I'm a little sleepy. So I'll call it here, but we're going to mess with Wrath of the Righteous next time. I am looking forward to messing with that a little bit more. Might do the teamwork thing because, dude, it's really powerful. Teamwork's awesome in this, and something I don't get to mess around with on tabletop too much because you can't get enough people to agree that they're going to be dedicated to each other. So that kind of sucks. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll post up the usual stuff and take it from there.